thanks for coming out. ADU development, planning, permitting, and building made simple is our topic today. And about 6-7 months ago, I met this woman. It's actually a really good story. We met her through a gardener that does one of our the gardening at one of our projects, and I really kind of fell in love with her right from the beginning. She reminded me very much of my middle daughter, who I used to do a lot of business with, and I can tell you right now, virtually everybody in this room can utilize her. If you own 3 or 4 properties and you want to add 2 or 3 more doors onto those properties, she can help you with it. If all the properties you're seeing are you can only buy them at 87% of value and they just don't seem to cash flow, she can help you increase the cash flow. So I call her my expediter, okay, or my project. She manages the planning and permitting stages of the jobs, and I'd like to introduce Erica Perez. Please, Erica, come on up. So Erica's not nervous at all because she's a badass, okay? I'm sorry, that was a quote. I want you to stand inside the lines here. How long have you been doing this? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, good night. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. It's my first time, so thanks. Okay, so I started right out of high school. So my dad, typical dad, you go to school or you start a job. So I decided to, go into a quick course. Why? Because I just wanted to go to school, please my dad, and continue with life. But no, I ended up, after doing a business and administration program, I ended up working my internship hours with an engineer at an engineer's office. But from there, I learned just more than, receptionist work. I learned how to expedite plans. I learned how to read plans. I learned how to manage projects for them. And then that's where everything started, where the passion started. So this was back in 2011. So I'm about 13, 14 years of experience. Yeah.
And so this engineering firm was like a structural engineering or civil engineering, or what and there was a construction company involved in this also, or how'd that work exactly?
Yeah, so this was a structural engineer firm, but from there I met contractors, I met different project managers, I met people at the city, and I started networking with them. So there they gave me a lot of experience, a lot of training, a lot of knowledge that I was able to get from there, and that's why I'm here now, doing all this, and I love it.
I can't tell you enough how important it is to have somebody who wears a lot of hats like she wears. And I'll give you a for instance right now. I have a project going on in LA County. We kind of thought this was sort of a slam dunk project, but everybody understands right now there's, I think, 30,000 homes burnt in LA County. I mean, the Palisades and the other fire location. So that's the normal work that would be out there plus another 30,000. That's a massive number. So one of the jurisdiction where we have the house moved their plan check to another city. So it was a real wrench in what we were doing, and part of that was the new plan checker wanted to see what you said, they wanted to move it from type 5 construction, isn't that what I heard?
Yeah, so they wanted us to remove the plans from building them type 5 to now needing structural engineering. So pretty much when it comes to type 5, we just submit the plans, and it's a quick process. We can always just do draft plans with the drafter, but in this case now they're asking for engineering, so structural gets involved. So now we get revisions and we have to go back. But with the knowledge and the special team that I have and other people that I know, I always go back to them. I ask for advice on what can we do here. So, now that I'm more in this field, I get to know people and learn from them. And from there, I know how to manage the plans in order for them to get expedited quicker and for everything to come out smooth.
Yeah, of course. I want my permits.
I know.
Okay. But I can't tell you guys enough. In my intro, I spoke about a house that I had, and thank the Lord for COVID, because COVID stopped the construction of my spec home that I built and made us an extra $400,000 because of it. It was a nice thing. But the reason it took 2 years is it was, they would assign me somebody, and then I'd get halfway done with them, and then they would leave, and they'd bring in another consultant, and this went on for 2 years. It was really, really difficult. And so having somebody on your team, and I called complaining, like, hey, I want my permit. This was maybe 2 weeks ago. And she explained the situation that she was in, and very matter-of-factly says, oh, but I've already given this to the structural engineer. The structural engineer is running calculations on what is existing, and we're not going to have to do these red line, make the revisions that they're asking for. Now we've yet to get this approved, but things like this, meaning I personally didn't have to go out and hire another engineer to look at this. And by the way, if you're not doing millions and millions of dollars worth of business, most of them won't call you back. I know this from firsthand experience. So having a lead person, having someone like this, is really where it's at. And for the $10,000 or something like that, that a lot of the services that she provided plus the supervision of it, it's really kind of a drop in the bucket. So I don't mean to say what you did for me was a drop in the bucket. You've worked really hard for me, but having an expediter allows me to go off and find more deals. Or when the lady called 2 weeks ago and wants me to go, look at her probate property, I'm free to do that. I'm free to go out and find other revenue. So that's a nice part of it. So with that being said, I really wanted to explain to all of you that she's a real gem, okay? And she's not an investor. She's not someone who's thinking about doing this. How many projects are you physically working on right now?
Physically, with me, this is the thing. I also work with different contractors who hire me to manage their projects in construction. But for myself, right now, I have 23 in my pipeline.
Yeah.
With different cities.
So this is 23 different plans, permits, engineering, civil, structural, Title 24, MOPS plans. I mean, all of this stuff, okay, that we're talking about, and it's crazy. It's crazy to think about it. So what I told Erica that I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to her in front of you folks like I was interviewing her for a job or hiring for a job. And so she has produced a nice slide show for us. And please have at it. I'd like to hire you.
Okay, so one of the things for me, I feel like it's very important to always let you guys know, communication is the key for these type of projects. Why? Because sometimes it's the time that it takes for us to be able to get the permits. Sometimes the plans are in our side, but sometimes they're also at the city, and that's when it takes longer. But as long as, we let you guys know and explain the project and where the process is, the homeowner, the investor, or the person who hired me will be comfortable and understand the process. So what's an ADU? So an ADU is a secondary living unit on a residential property. Now we're also able to do ADUs on multifamily apartments, even on commercial lots.
So does everybody understand what I'm talking about? So if you have a 4-unit building and a big old dirt lot in the back of your property, I'm not telling you can for sure build more units on it, but what I'm saying is having somebody that you can call. I've done it with you a couple times. Hey, I'm looking at this property. What can you see for me? And let me tell you what she did for me. You know what she said? She said, oh, there's a code enforcement violation on this property. I'm making up the name, Steve Sinclair. She knew Steve Sinclair. She could just simply pick up the phone and call Steve and say, hey, what's going on the property? This is in her work area, which is mainly Los Angeles and the Valley and into South LA, that kind of thing. But having an expert like that on your team is really, really important. Please.
Okay, so there's different type of ADUs. We can also do a detached ADU, an attached, a junior ADU, or a garage conversion. And then why do homeowners choose ADUs, investors, or anyone who wants to do their ADUs? Mainly for rental income potential, family housing, and also to increase the value of your property.
Yeah, and to me, I come in contact with a lot of properties that have illegal units in it. And so with her expertise, she was like, oh no, the garage it was a garage that was converted illegally. She goes, oh no, just call, they'll come out. And literally the inspector said to me, well, what do you want to do here? And I'm thinking I've got to like tap dance for him and come up with all these reasons why I've got to do this ADU. And I kind of hesitated when he asked me, and he goes, well, the best thing to do would just be to make this legal. Like, oh, really? That's a good idea. We'll do that. So the climate that we're in right now, I'm talking about the business climate where, I mean, how many times have you heard the term affordability in the last 6 weeks? I hear it every day on the news. Affordability, affordability, all the time. This is actually this transaction turns a $1.6 million property into a $2.2 million property, and it's going to cost like $200,000 for us to make that extra money. So yeah, it's adding time to the project and so on and so forth, but. I can see, for me, I can see as an investor, this is my choice. So every property that I hold from now on will be because I have an opportunity to turn it into a 3, a 4, a 5, a 50-plex. I know in San Diego County, it's very popular right now, where I actually know of this project. When I say I know of it, I saw it on YouTube, please. I haven't, that's all I've got for you. But they turned a home into 99 more units. There's 100 units on one piece of property. So, I don't know what the cash flows. I don't know anything about the transaction. Please. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I have another friend of mine who has about 70 doors. He's my cousin. I do a lot of little projects with him. And the last 3 years, this is all he's been doing, is adding a unit over here, adding 2 units over here, adding a garage with 4 units above it. He's turned his 21-unit building over in one of the worst parts of Riverside off Tyler and Arlington. He added 4 units onto a 21-unit building. That his basis on that is $2 million. That project's worth like $8 million today. So, I mean, it's just nothing. It's a cash cow is what I'm trying to say. So please.
And right now that you mentioned that, it's always good to do your investigation because he got this information off of YouTube.
YouTube. It's very, right? No, it's real though.
No, I know. But this is the thing. This can apply to every lot. So every lot is different. Every city is different. In some, you might be able to you might see your neighbor that has 9 units, but when it comes to because of your zoning or your lot or your measurement, your setbacks, they might not allow you to do the same thing as your neighbor. So we always have to do an investigation.
So I'm the dreamer, and she's the reality person. It's like we're going to take this on the road.
Okay, so I always like to do an initial consultation. That's where I discuss the goals and the budget of the client, the investor, the homeowner. Confirm what type of ADU they're looking for and what is it for. Are you looking for an investment for your family, for yourself?
And so by the time you and I had this appointment, we pretty much knew kind of like what we were hoping to do, and this consultation became more of a, oh no, this is actually going to happen. I mean, that's how I felt about it. I think that was the day I asked her how much. She gave me a number. I was like, sounds good. Where do I send the money? So
yeah, we started that same day. Also, I always like to review timelines for each department because if you go to building and safety to the county, they will give you their timelines. But on top of that, there's my timelines and there's also other departments that they're not disclosing. So it's always good to have the knowledge of what departments you're going through. And once again, it all depends on the type of project and size that you're going for.
And I would just add that it's going to take longer. It's going to take substantially longer. We're behind a couple of months right now. I mean, I'll admit it to you. We got really turned around when they assigned us to somebody else.
Outside of the city.
Yeah,
They outsource the plans.
and I would just anticipate this is going to happen. Okay, so what I'm telling you is, if this deal doesn't cash flow, and you've borrowed 100% to purchase the property, and you don't even have the money to make payments for 6 months, this isn't your deal. Okay, but if you own the property, or maybe you did do the deal that I just talked about, and you have a deep-pocketed partner, you know, this is the kind of stuff. This is actually the kind of stuff that your partner would want to see, and see that, hey, this is actually real. And I know this works from firsthand. Being able to show your financial partners someone that produces the work product like Erica does is what will raise the money for you. Please.
Okay, and here's a quick sketch of what a process would look like on a regular type of process. So first, we start with submitting plans and permits to Building and Safety, the county, or whatever agency your property belongs to. They do a completeness check submittal. Everything's complete. They will send us an invoice. They review by planning. But see, in these 4 steps, we're already like a month out. So that's a whole month that the plans have just been at the city. So see, so that's when we start talking about time frames. It sounds like a lot, but they are being worked on, but we just don't see it because they're at the city. Then they do a plan review. Once planning approves, gives corrections, or approves, then we moved on to Building and Safety. Building and Safety, they do their revisions. We comply with codes. Then the permit gets issued. So it seems like it's a quick process, but it does take time. Like I mentioned, sometimes Building and Safety will outsource the plans. They don't revise them there at the same city. They outsource to other private planners. So that's when it takes time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I'm just selling here for Erica, but what I am saying to you is that if you're not following up with them, I'm not saying that the project, it's going to go into a filing cabinet with dust on it. That's not what I'm saying. But the access that you have, the years of experience, and if you think about it in your own situation, if you've got somebody who can produce good information for you and get this off your desk, you're going to work with them before you're going to work with a guy, because I'm a yeller, a screamer, I don't understand the deal, you know, all of this kind of stuff. And I know I cause myself problems many times, and maybe some of you can understand that.
And sometimes it's not even knowing someone at the city, but knowing and understanding the process, because sometimes I'm able to even do plan check over the phone. And for something simple that we can always revise over the phone, I don't have to wait for them to turn back the plans. We just get it done right there and there. So that counts a lot. You had a question?
Yeah, so just so I'm understanding, right, like you're just like an independent plans coordinator
Yes.
kind of thing. So is there do you have like preferred engineers or people that you work with that, depending on the city or what?
I do. So I do work with different firms, which I would recommend depending on the project. I will base it off of, you know, what you're really trying to get done, and I would recommend engineers. But if you also have your own engineers that you trust and you want to go through, I contact them, and then we work together.
And I haven't spoken to any of those people, and that for me is a big plus.